Russian soldiers of the 70th Motorized Rifle Regiment are required to pay at least 10,000 rubles per person into the so-called cash desk. This was reported by agents of the ATESH partisan movement on the community's Telegram channel. As the agents discovered, the Russian military deposits the money into a common cashbox. From there, the funds disappear without explanation or reporting. Those Russians who refuse to hand over the money are severely punished. For example, some are sent to storm fortified positions without backup. Russian armed forces soldiers are also punished by beatings and being thrown into a pit where they remain for several days, the partisans say. If they want to survive, they are being asked to pay at least 50,000 rubles a month, without a guarantee that they won't be sent to SDU positions tomorrow, claim agents of the ATESH movement. The partisans note that such actions decompose the enemy army from within. Such incidents demoralize the Russian military, thereby weakening the Russian armed forces' position on the battlefield. It's worth noting that Russian media previously reported that the 70th Motorized Rifle Regiment is part of the Dnieper group of Russian armed forces during Russia's war with Ukraine. It was reported that the regiment would participate in combat operations in the Zaporizhzhia region from 2023 to 2025. According to publicly available sources, the 70th Guards Motorized Rifle Regiment consists of 3 infantry battalions, a tank battalion, a reconnaissance and sniper company, as well as a self-propelled artillery division, an engineer sapper company, and medical and repair units. The 3 motorized rifle battalions, the reconnaissance company and snipers of the 70th Regiment are armed with lightly armored vehicles such as the BMP-2 and BTR-80, as well as 120mm Sani mortars, 82mm Podnos mortars, and Cornet-type portable anti-tank guided missile systems. The 70th Guards Motorized Rifle Regiment's striking force is represented by a battalion of T-90M Proriv tanks, and its artillery consists of a battalion of 152mm MSTAS self-propelled guns. The regiment's engineer company is armed with MTU-20 bridge layers, and the NBC protection unit is equipped with TOS-2 Tosuchka anti-tank missiles. The remaining units of the regiment include an electronic warfare company, operators of the Upir and Piranha FPV drones, as well as medical and repair support units, and a command company. In August 2025, the 70th Motorized Rifle Regiment was awarded the title of Guards by decree of Russian President Vladimir Putin.
An investigation by the Sunday Times has revealed the identity of the 13 Russian commanders whose troops committed war crimes against Ukrainian civilians in the Ukrainian town of Bucha, on the outskirts of Kiev, in early 2022. The investigation, which was conducted by independent lawyers and investigators using open-source intelligence sources and was corroborated by the Sunday Times, is the first to present evidence against all of the high-ranking Russian soldiers believed to be associated with the Bucha massacre. More than 80 soldiers under the combined command of the 13 officers have already been identified, though many more believed to have taken part in the Bucha atrocities remain unknown. The commanders identified by the Sunday Times, several of whom had already been named by other outlets. The names of the suspected commanders were confirmed using information from legal experts at the Global Rights Compliance Foundation. At the top of the list is Colonel General Alexander Chayko, who commanded the Eastern Military District at the start of the war in Ukraine. Prior to this, he led Russian forces in Syria and was sanctioned by the UK for ordering strikes on hospitals and schools in Idlib, resulting in the deaths of 1,600 civilians. One of the mid-level commanders was Sergei Chabarikhin, now a major general, who at the time reported directly to Chayko. He commanded the 76th Guards Air Assault Division, part of the Eastern Military District. Like Chayko, he served in Syria in support of the Bashar al-Assad regime. The troops under his command allegedly committed most of the war crimes in Bucha, including executions, torture, and mass looting. Both Chayko and Chubarikin have been charged with committing war crimes. Reporting to them was Artyom Gorodilov, commander of the 234th Air Assault Regiment. Gorodilov has not been served with a suspicion notice, but sources within the security service of Ukraine said they believe he was complicit in the crimes committed by his subordinates. An analysis of Ukrainian legal documents showed that troops under his command were accused of committing at least 40 war crimes during the month-long occupation of Bucha, the highest number among all units stationed in the area. The crimes included killings, looting and rape. Documents listing Russian officers by their call signs included evidence that he operated under the alias Urun. Lieutenant Colonel Azatbek Omerbakov was one of the most brutal commanders deployed in Bucha during the occupation. He is the head of the 64th Separate Guards Motor Rifle Brigade, an elite infantry unit. He had previously been identified and sanctioned by 8 different jurisdictions, and a suspicion notice had also been issued against him. The UK sanctions list accuses Omerbakov of direct command over troops involved in the killing of civilians in Bucha. The US stated that he personally committed gross human rights violations, including extrajudicial killings. The article also mentions Nikolai Sokovikov, a 28-year-old lieutenant of the 5th Guards Tank Brigade, who was convicted in absentia and sentenced to life imprisonment after a trial in Kiev. Using Russian military archives, legal experts determined that Sokovikov's commander was Colonel Andrei Kondrov, head of the 5th Guards Tank Brigade, who is listed among the 13 commanders. He was identified by the SSU, although no personal suspicion notice has been issued against him. Other Russian commanders named in the article include Colonel General Alexander Sanchik, Colonel General Valery Solodchuk, Colonel Yuri Medvedev, Lieutenant Colonel Denis Suvorov, Colonel Alexei Tolmashet, Major General Vladimir Seliverstov, Major General Vadim Pankov, and Colonel Sergei Karasev. Recall: in early 2022, Russian forces occupied the town of Bucha, located some 30 kilometers northwest of Kyiv, for 29 days, during which time they are accused of committing a series of war crimes, including extrajudicial executions, rape, torture, and looting. The bodies of more than 500 civilians have been recovered from Bucha since the town was recaptured by Ukrainian forces at the end of March 2022, including over 100 bodies buried in a mass grave outside a local Orthodox Christian church. Human rights watchdogs have described the actions of Russian soldiers at Bucha as ethnic cleansing and a crime against humanity. Moscow has alternately claimed that the attack was committed by British special forces and accused Kiev of provocatively staging a war crime in order to smear the Russian army's reputation.